What's going on, family? Hopefully you're doing well. I want to get this video out to you before our CPI report tomorrow. We had PPI today. And as you can see, I'm coming back from the gym, but I wanted to put out a quick video because I think tomorrow is going to be very pivotal going into next week for FOMC. So I want to make sure that you're abreast of what's going on so you don't get trapped. You make your trade, and also for my equity and shareholders, we can protect our gains. All right. So without further ado, let's jump into the SPY overall here and show you what happened today. Okay. So we had that pop up into highs, which I kind of talked about inside of our Leverage University Discord. The link is down below. We'd love to have you. There's a three-day trial link that you come in, hang out, join us. It is not just about finance or trading. We are a community that support each other in all areas of life. As you can read my bio down below, as a life coach and a business supporter for entrepreneurs. So let's do 655 here. We rejected under it. If I want to watch this trend line at the top, we have this top end trend line that's been riding these highs, pushing up, riding these highs, pushing up, riding these highs, pushing up, and it's starting to get coiled up here at the top. Okay. Doesn't mean we can't go higher, but what you're seeing with these data releases is people are profit taking with those positive data reports. So we profit take, pull back, still forming higher lows, higher highs. However, we're getting a little bit heavy, as I like to say, up in here. As you can see, some of the tech companies such as Apple, right? Amazon pulling back, and even Google just starting to get coiled up in here as well. We have Meta as well starting to roll over here with that nice double top. Even Tesla getting double topped here at 355, pulling back. And then we have our NVIDIA and AMD all running in the semiconductor sector due to we had not AVGO, which was really bullish, but Oracle earnings. Okay, so Oracle, one of the biggest earnings, I think, since 2020. I can't even remember the year. There was a statistic, but this run right here from really down here at these lows of 120 to 345, but this move right here, over 40% up on earnings. It needs to pull back, but it can consolidate up here, sit up here for a minute, but we want to keep an eye on this. Okay. So for tomorrow, two scenarios that can happen. I'll give you a bullish scenario and more of a bearish scenario. Okay. We can have another pop from CPI. Okay. So you see this gap right here from PPI. We can have a decent CPI report, pop up to the highs again, try to retest 655 and have another gap, and then potentially have a retracement double top right back down. Okay. I thought we were going to retrace a little bit further today, but we stopped at that 650 on SPY. So my levels on SPY are as follows. 647. If you're a bull, we want to watch 647. If you want to watch the lower end of the range, we got 643. And then the full range move would be back down to 640. Okay. Very similar to here, back down to that move. We stopped at a higher low here, bounced. And when we finally decide to give back the whole move, we could have a potential big weekly pullback back to the lower end of the range potentially. Now we really want to hold 643, right? So that's a big level right there, 643, but 647, 643, and ultimately that 650. So watch those levels below. I would be, if you're a bull in this market and you trade SPY, I would watch those levels below to confirm for buys instead of trying to buy a breakout. Okay. Be careful of the breakout. There are a lot of look above and fails. So if you're a new person in the market and you're trading, look above and fail means, oh man, it's breaking out. Look above, fail back below, trap you. And then you're like, oh man, I thought we were breaking out. And then we pull all the way back. Okay. So be careful on those, especially for those people that you're not trading with the charts. You're just on Robinhood, on your mobile, just trading. Okay. Be careful with those. All right. QQQ, let's jump into there. Same thing, 583 is our level, okay, 583, and even potentially this 581 level, if we stay below that 581 or reject underneath it, depending on data in the morning, we could pull back to this 575 and even further down to this 573, okay? So I told my community today that we've got some levels on QQQ. The chart's a little bit different. It's kind of shaky up in here, not as clean as SPY. Obviously, we got healthcare and whatnot, but we have kind of that trend line there, and then we've got a little bit of potentially double top action here. Okay. So a little bit different look on QQQ. All right. I want to mark this bottom end of this range here. Okay. My macro areas are 573 and 565. Okay. These smaller areas in here could just be little pit stops. Okay. So my yellow dotted lines are pit stops. All right. So again, we pop up. We really got to get above 585, right? And I like an hourly close above those highs. So 585 is really that level that I really want to see it above to really continue, right? And hold and go, right? With the pullback of a lot of these tech companies, I really am a little bit more cautious about another double top trap up here. And then we pull back deeper down into this level. Okay. So if you're a bull, I would wait to these lower ends of the levels of 573, 575. And ultimately, whenever that thing happens, 565 is a nice level there. Okay. So those are your ranges. Mark them on your charts. I do think there's a due for a bigger pullback. And here is my trend that I'm looking at right here. Okay. Right there. And let me move this. Okay, to look like that. All right. So same type of top trend, and then bigger pullback, very similar to here. All right, there's a move higher, tries to push up, retraces back to 565. Okay. So those are the levels on QQQ. We will trade it based off of the CPI move in the morning. IWM, like I said previously in videos, I'm kind of staying away for right now until it shows me something a little bit better. Let me move this down here. And it breaks out of this trend or pushes up into the higher range of 240. So I think IWM is really just waiting on rate interest cuts next week. All right, Apple, let's talk about it. Two ideas for Apple. We got Apple sitting at this interesting level here of 226. CPI is going to kind of come in pretty decent for Apple to hold up here and try to reclaim 230 to push back up to 235. When it gets to 235, I'm really interested in this potential head and shoulders to retrace it back down. Head and shoulders is a bearish sentiment there, right? Back down to that 215 and 220. Okay, so watch Apple keenly here as this has broken down below 235. We have equal lows, right? But with market all-time highs, Apple was pushing more aggressively as SPY and QQQ were pushing up. So it's relatively weak compared to the market. It could come lower down into that 215. We got a little pit stop at 220. All right. So watch Apple breaks below that 224 and some change. Watch out below. All right. Let's go to Amazon. Okay. Amazon has a little bit of negative news today, along with Netflix, I believe. So Amazon is in this trend channel, as you can see. So I like this 223 level on Amazon up against that trend. Okay, I want to watch that level and then just that psych level of 230. So I would consider this pit stop here. You can see there's a gap right there that still needs to be filled fully, but this 230 level stopping, it did close above 230 today. So what I would like to see on Amazon is to short it for the remainder of the gap fill. I would like a pop back up to 235, same levels pretty much as Apple, and then see a failure there and then take it down to that 223 level. Okay. I do think there can be a bigger retracement on Amazon, but that's not coming until we see some levels break. But I do believe that that is coming at some point in time where we come back down to that 195 and 200 level on Amazon. All right. It may need a little bit of, and people are like, what are you talking about? This may need a little bit of juice, right, to take out the highs. Okay. That's kind of what I'm looking at on Amazon. If we pull back to that level again, that's still technically a daily higher low here. Let's see the weekly. Okay. A weekly higher low would really be back above, staying above that 220. There's a weekly higher low there. And then that would be an equal bounce right back at 200. All right. So watching that on Amazon, see what it does. Breaks above highs. We need back above 243 for it to take out all-time highs. All right. Google, nothing really to say here other than just watch this trend channel. I really want to see an hourly candle out of this trend channel, and below 234 is really where Google's going to pick up some steam, very similar to Amazon, what it did. Okay. That's where I'm looking for Google to break down below. All right. Microsoft, not really interested here. Just watching that 500 level, see what it does. Maybe this turns into a bear flag and we come lower down into those 490 levels and lower potentially, depending on where the market goes. Meta, not really interested too much here. Got a nice level at 745, 750. See if that holds, breaks down below. We got lower levels into those gaps and equal lows at 725. Let's see here. NVIDIA and AMD main watches in this channel. Okay, we got a nice push off of Oracle earnings. NVIDIA, we took today off this 179 level. I wanted it a little higher. If you can see, there's a little bit of a gap up there up against 180. So I would love for NVIDIA to kind of turn this into a little bull flag. We get one more pop higher. I'm looking for a lower high failure, and then I want that. Okay. So I know folks are looking for NVIDIA to take out all-time highs, but you got to be mindful that we're coming into end of September. Yes, we could have a bullish September, but we got to remember that we're still forming a lower high here on a bigger time frame. Okay. As a lower high. All right. On a daily. So if that rejects, fairly similar to here, popped up, rejected all the way back down. If this pops up, we could come down into that 160 where I really want NVIDIA to come back 160 and then 150s. Okay. So then we take it back up. All right. So don't get trapped up here on NVIDIA that it's breaking out. This could just be a retest pop and then we come back to the equal lows. So I'm watching that on NVIDIA that I actually want it higher to short it back down. Okay. AMD, same thing. Rejecting the daily 20, as you can see right there. Daily 20 sitting right there at 165. Okay. And AMD, really nice pop off of here, but I would love AMD to retest lower down into the 140s and back at 150, maybe double bottom and then take it back up or break above this 165 level. Okay, that daily 20, 165. I'm really looking for that to break. Other than that, below this daily 20, below that daily 50, we could retrace back down. And you see there's that daily 100 right down there. All right. So this is the bigger zone right down here into that 137 and 140 level. All right. So just trying to, give a bigger idea for a lot of folks, just so they don't get trapped in thinking that this is the bull run up. We could have a pop, lower, pop, and then finally lower. All right. If it breaks out of this trend back above that daily 20, that's when we can get bullish back above 165, headed back into that 180, trying to retest the high. All right. We got AVGO, just need a little bit of exhaustion on it. It's got multiple gaps below. Let me see if it double tops at 370 and forms a lower high here. Takes out, we're probably going to 380. All right. So just marking that right now. See if that double tops. MU. I like this level on MU, weekly level here. Okay. Right there at 143 and failing 140. So that's more of a look above fail. So if I can double top somewhere around 142.24, right, or stay below 140, we've got a pretty big, good risk to reward coming back down into that 130 level potentially. Right. And then back down into 125. Okay. So watch that on MU. The daily 20 is sitting right here at 124, 125. So if we do that, there's your opportunity to take it right back up. Okay. Don't chase into these new highs unless it holds previous highs. So I want to watch that right there, which is 130. So 130 will be a target to retest down below. And then if it breaks underneath that, we could sweep the lows and come right back up. All right. So watch MU, good risk to reward up against this 142 and some change level. Okay. So I actually like MU. I've been trading it pretty decently lately. ARM broke out of this wedge, gap filling, it's middle of the gap, need to wait on that. Oracle, just going to watch the double top at maybe 340. See if it can retest 340 and we fail at 340. Then kind of liking that, right? Stay underneath this level here. Popped up in there, failed it, turned it into a rejection. 340, watch 340 on Oracle, or a breakdown underneath this 320 level. Palantir could just be a retest. I know my Palantir bulls want the retest of the highs. It is above the daily 20. Very low liquidity area here at 170. I'll be watching 170 pretty keenly there to see if it breaks above 170 or do we reject it and come back down. All right. Hood, everyone's watch. Hood had a great summit here in Las Vegas. Buy the rumor, sell the news potentially. So Hood could be a nice risk to reward if it pops up one more time. I'd like to test this high again, either at 120, like we talked about, or rejecting a double top at 123.44. Okay, so I'm gonna mark that psych level of 120 and see if we can stay below that. We break back below 117, right? That's that previous high that we broke above right here. If we break back below that, right, and hold below, that's where this could start coming in. All right. So watch Hood, right? If you're like, man, I need to get some Hood shares, please be patient. It is a $200 stock. It is a $150 stock at this point. So please be patient on the pullback. If you can get it closer to 100 for your first ever entry, I love it back at, closer to like 90 or 88. Maybe some of these daily, this can start curling up right at 90, that daily 90 or 95, that daily 200 and daily 100. All right, I like those entries a little bit better, closer to the daily 100 and daily 200. Okay, for shares. That's really it. Okay, everything else we'll talk about in the Discord. Appreciate you. All these in my white. If you want to take note of them, those are longer term share buying opportunities that are on a big dip, or leap opportunities or big swing trade opportunities that might be playing out within the next 6 months to a year. So thank y'all so much. As always, I appreciate you. Sorry for the late video. I'm sorry for, how I look right now. I just got out from the gym. I'm like, I got to get this out. So trade safe tomorrow. Finish out the week. We got FOMC and rate cuts next week, and CPI and a preliminary consumer sentiment tomorrow. On Friday. All right. Talk to you later. Peace, love, and blessings. You have a great evening. Bye.